thing about Daddy, say, Daddy, it's a gold star. Excuse me, but I was the only one in the class that got a gold star, got them all right. I said, Tracy, I said, honey, that some people just need to have gold stars, and people sort of like to give it out and make that the reason why you're doing something and set you apart from everybody else. And your dad doesn't really care much about that, how you stack up with others. They're going to be, I'm more interested in what you're learning. Okay, she was used to that. Kind of weird daddy, and she knew that. So about another month or so, she came home with a paper that had looked like it was what?
Yeah. You got a guaranteed check every month. They're paying the most money. You got and you close to the bus line, you close to the VA hospital, you close to the hospitals, you close to stores. You doing good. Oh shoot. Hello everyone. How you doing? I hit start broadcast and I wasn't even prepared. I don't even think I put a title on the video, but hey, we're on. Hey Vanessa, how you doing? Hey Sean, how you doing? Welcome back to Periscope. Okay guys, I just had to jump on today and I wanted to talk about Anchored. I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, dear? Mommy, come tell everybody hi. Y'all tell my mother hi.
Hello, ladies. How are you all tonight? I'm enjoying some of my daughter's dinner, and I'm getting ready to sneak out, and you all have a blessed, enjoyable evening. Much love.
That's my mother. Hello, S.C. Jamal. How you doing? I was just wanting to... All right, love you too, Mommy. Good night. So I just wanted to jump on Periscope tonight because I didn't get on earlier today, because I had a really, really busy day. And I just try to get on and chat with you guys and have our Heartscope, which I hit, like I said, I hit start broadcast. I didn't put any title or anything like that in. But wanted to read an excerpt from Anchored, my book, Anchored Be Blessed Daily, Volume 1. And I just want you to think about this and apply this to your life. And for those of you who do not know, I am Adelaide Brown with Be Blessed Daily. And at Be Blessed Daily, we inspire and empower women and girls to break through the glass ceilings in their lives and soar in their unlimited greatness. So tonight I'm going to go ahead and read the excerpt from Anchored. So this is the cover of the book. And I'm going to read to you guys day 157, and it says, every great journey starts with the first step. You won't have all the directions, so faith must be your map. Never try to make yourself feel better by finding fault in others. Don't be misery's company. Be blessed. I'm going to read that one more time. Every great journey starts with the first step. You won't have all the directions, so faith must be your map. Never try to feel better by finding fault in others. Don't be misery's company. Be blessed. Every great journey, guys. Every great journey. Every great journey starts with the first step, right? Thank you so much for the hearts. I love the hearts. And don't forget to share this with your followers. Every great journey starts with the first step. You won't have all the directions, so faith must be your map. Never try to make yourself feel better by finding fault in others. Don't be misery's company. So, just really, I want you to think about this. There may be something that you were planning on doing in your life, some dream that you had, some amazing thing that, you had in mind. And then, you know what? You didn't have enough money, or somebody told you that's a dumb idea. Why would you want to do something stupid like that? People tell us things like that all the time. They really do. And I just want to tell you tonight, don't believe the hype. Nobody has to believe in your dream but you. Nobody has to believe that you can do it but you. I know a lot of people who have never done anything with their life because my mama didn't believe in me, or my family didn't believe in me, or my friends, they pulled me down. No, it's a choice that we make. See, when we pursue our dreams, a lot of times almost always that's going to be a lonely journey for a while. When you are pursuing your dreams, that means that you are going off on a trajectory that no one else is on. Even if you have someone that has a passion similar to yours, they cannot walk in your shoes. If you're walking, like literally, if you are walking in your shoes, tell me, can somebody else put their feet in your shoes and walk in them with you? They cannot. They can walk alongside you. They can walk ahead of you. They can even walk, excuse me, I thought I felt something tugging on me. They can walk alongside you. They can walk in front of you. They can walk behind you. They can do all of that, but they cannot take your steps for you. Every great journey starts with the first step. Last night on Heart Talk, and last night when I did a Heart Scope, we were talking about allowing God to mold you in who it is that you want him to be. See, sadly, this is what I noticed. I see a lot of young kids, especially in my neighborhood. It's like you see how lost the children are. And I can't say that we weren't the same way. It's because you don't have the right outlook on life. But there's always that one that stands out in the crowd. There's always that one that doesn't have a desire to follow what everybody else is doing. And you know, be a part of the crowd. Because see, when we follow the crowd, we get lost in it. And see, as adults, we like to put that on children. But as adults, we do the same thing. I got to buy a house because this person have a house. I need to have a nice car or do this because that person has it. Not because that's what you want. You feel the pressures of it because that's what everybody else is doing. And that's how a lot of times we get caught up. So what Day 157 is telling us, like, just take the first step. Like, don't waste your life away just sitting still, not doing anything. You really need to take that first step. You need to trust the process. You need to move. Like, I can guarantee you, some of the people you love the most are going to tell you that's a stupid idea. Or why would you do that? You're not going to make any money in that profession, or you can't afford to do that. You're not smart enough to do that. You know where you came from? Nobody who look like you does stuff like that, or nobody who acts like you does stuff like that. And if they do, that's only few and far between. Everybody doesn't do things like that. Okay, well, you don't even have to prove them wrong. You don't have to do any of that. What you have to do is do what God is putting in your heart. You have to. I mean, Ben Carson, you have to shut your mouth. You have to shut your mouth and open the eyes of your heart and close your natural eyes. Because if you look at what's going on around you, you're going to give up. If you look at what's going on around you, I can absolutely promise you, you're going to get distracted. You're going to be deterred from doing what it is that God is calling for you to do. But when you stand, when you say, you know what, I don't care. I don't care if I look stupid. I don't care if I do it. You know, for me, when I get on Periscope, not so much, because I'm still new to Periscope. You know, I don't have as many followers as I do on Facebook. I think I have like 1,100 friends or something like that on Facebook. So when I get on and do my Facebook Live, I see a lot of people who knew me when. I see a lot of people that I did a lot of dirt with. I see a lot of people that I did a lot of dirt to. Okay? I see that. So when I get on Facebook Live, it's like a whole different feel, because it's like I have to remember that I'm not doing this for me. I am doing this because this is something that God has put on my heart. And of course I enjoy doing it. But if I had a choice, I would be doing it in different avenues and different ways, even with Periscope. But what I realize is this is what God wants me to do. And I really enjoy it. Like, I do. It's something about getting on here, even though I see myself, like, I know I can see the hearts coming from you guys. I can feel the energy coming from you. Hey, Shirley, how you doing? I got to catch up with you, Shirley. I had a really busy day, so I missed a lot of stuff today, so I definitely have to catch up with you. But it's like when you are willing to take that first step, it's like doors open up in front of you. But it's like a switch. It's like when you walk in the room, you have to flip the switch for the light to come on. And if you don't flip that switch, the light is never going to come on, so you walk in darkness. And that's what many of us do. Many of us never learn better. Many of us do the things that we did as children. We're rebels without a cause. You know, I'm not doing that because my daddy was no good, but your father's dead. So who are you hurting now? You're hurting no one but yourself. I can't tell you how many people that I meet, how many adults are broken children just in adult bodies. And we have to heal. No, we can't change the past, but we really have to heal. So that's what this is about. That's what Day 157 is telling us. It's telling us, look, we got to take the first step. Like, we got to take the first step. And it says, you won't have all the directions, so faith must be your map. I read this about a week or two ago. But I had to read this again because you won't have all the directions, so faith must be your map. Something happened to me today. I had a meeting this morning, and the whole tone of the meeting was different. The whole outline, everything that we were supposed to do, it was changed at the last minute. So we were talking about, what do you want? Like, what do you want? Like, have you really sat down and thought about what you really want? Not what you feel like you have to have. Not, what you feel like is all that you can get. But what do you really want? And I'm not talking about material things. I'm talking about, what do you want out of life? What is fulfilling to you? Whatever that is, that's the direction you need to be traveling in. And many of us are traveling each and every day in a completely opposite direction. A completely opposite direction. We're supposed to be going right, but we're traveling left. We're supposed to be up, but we're going down. We're supposed to be going northeast, and we're heading southwest. And I'm telling you guys, like, I'm so serious right now. Like, it is time for you to take your step. And then some of us are like, well, I've already taken a step. Okay, then it's time for you to take the next one. The problem is we get stuck. We really get stuck. Like, when we start taking steps, like, we really get stuck. It's like, oh my God, I took that step. That happened to me. When I quit my job, that was the biggest step I've ever taken in my life. But after I took that step, I found myself almost stuck after a few months, because it was like, I started, like when Peter got out of the boat and started walking on water towards Jesus, right? But when Peter was walking on the water fine, when his focus was straight ahead on Jesus. But then he started looking to the left and looking to the right. Like, oh my gosh, this water is scary. This water about to drown me. Oh my gosh, I'm afraid. And that's when he started sinking. And that's what we have to keep in mind. We have to stay focused. We have to stay focused on the task that we have been set on. And the thing about it is, people may not understand you. You may look crazy. People may tell you, you're going to miss out. If you don't do it this way, it's not going to work out. Let me tell you something. We serve an infinite God. That means that we have infinite possibilities to do what it is that we need to do. And I know that's right. I know you feeling me, Shirley. I thank you guys so much for the hearts. I thank you for hearting it up. I thank you for sharing this with your followers. I'm telling you, I'm absolutely telling you, now is the time. Now is the time for you to break through. Now is the time to do whatever it is that you need to do. I'm so sick and tired of people who think that, they just harp on the material things that they've gained. Or everything in their life is about what other people think about them. What do you think about yourself? Are you proud of you? When you go to sleep at night, can you tap yourself on the back and say, job well done? Can you do that? If you can't, it doesn't matter if everybody else is doing that for you. You're going to self-sabotage. And I know, because I'm raising my hand, that's something that I have done. And I'm so thankful to God for the revelations. But in the process of that being revealed to me, the thoughts that I had, the behavior that came along with those thoughts. Yes, I mean, look, for those of us who are willing to be honest, I mean, everybody doesn't struggle with that, but many of us do. And so what happened was, God made me realize it exactly so that I could change it. Change is good, Vanessa. It doesn't always feel good, but it is absolutely wonderful. It absolutely is. And it's because it gives us an opportunity to see who we can really be. And that's what did we read last night? Jeremiah chapter 18 was talking about. He said, go down to the potter's house. And when he went down to the potter's house, he saw that the potter had some clay on the potter's wheel, and it was already formed into a certain shape. You can read this for yourself. Jeremiah chapter 18, the first six verses. And when he saw the potter and the clay was in his hand, but because the clay was marred, that's what the Bible, the particular translation that I was reading, which is the New King James translation. Others were worded differently. But it said that the clay was marred in the potter's hand. So he made it again to what he thought was good. Too many of us are trying to squeeze ourselves, force ourselves, pinch ourselves into a mold that God never thought was good for us. We thought it was good. It was appealing to us. But did you stop and say, God, is this what you want for me? Let me tell you something. A lot of times we don't ask God because it's something we want, and we know deep down inside, we know that's not what he wants for us. Because there have been times where I prayed very short, shallow prayers about things because I didn't even want God to reveal it to me that that's not something I needed to be doing. Because I wanted to do it. It was about what I wanted to do. It was not about what God was telling me to do. And I got a big wake-up call for that today. I mean a big wake-up call for that today. Because I was doing some prayer and some meditation, really asking God, what does he want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do with the social media platform? What do you want me to do with my books? What do you want me to do with people? Like, I can be good at a lot of things. I've been good at things my whole life, but that does not mean that that's what my gift is. And that's what I want you to realize. Just because you're good at something does not mean that that's the gift that God has for you to operate in. That might just be your talent. It does not mean that that's the thing that you're supposed to be doing. And that just might be something that can enhance it. That is something that would be an accessory to it. But it does not mean that that's what you're supposed to be doing. And for example, like I can do hair, I can braid and do things like that. I used to braid people's hair, not like... That's where I am struggling to figure out now. You're not struggling to figure out, Vanessa. I'm going to just tell you what just dropped in my spirit. You're not struggling to figure out what it is. It's you're running from what you know it is. I think that what it is so simple and it comes so easy to you think that it must be harder than this. It must be more than what God wants for me than right now. But I can promise you, I can tell you, you already know what it is, but you just won't realize it. It's already there. Like Patti LaBelle said, I've been looking around, but you've been here all the time. All the time. You've been looking for your purpose. Guess what? It was there all the time. And I can use myself as an example. I talked about this on Facebook Live yesterday. I had family members used to tell me, you talk too much. You need to be quiet. You talk too much. Nobody don't hear you. And you sound like a man. With your deep voice. I'm 5, 6, 7 years old, and people saying things like that. That stuff really hurt me. That stuff messed me up for years. I'm not ashamed to say that. That stuff hurt my feelings. I was already feeling like I was less than. I already felt like I was the reason why my daddy was nowhere to be found in my life. I already felt like there was never really anything I could do right. The only person I could really please in my life was my grandmother and my grandfather, because outside of that, everybody had such high expectations and nothing was ever good enough. So, what in the world? Oh my gosh, I don't know what just happened. So, when people used to tell me things like that, it made me be quiet. And when I did speak, I said things that I thought people wanted to hear. I didn't really say what was on my heart. I didn't really share. And when I did, if anybody rejected me, if anybody didn't go along with what I was saying, if I didn't have an amen corner, if I didn't have a hype man or something like that, then I didn't feel like it was the right thing. I didn't feel like, that's what I was supposed to be saying or that was valid. And then a lot of times, even then, God would have me say things to people, like older people, and they would get upset with me. And it wouldn't be rude or anything, but they look at me like, how could this child, you're just 12 or 13 years old, how you going to tell me something like that? So I was trained that my thoughts weren't good enough. That's how I took it. See, I'm not projecting that on other people. That's how I took it. I took that rejection and I took it and I internalized it and I made it about me, not realizing that, look, they just weren't in a position to handle me at that time. Whatever it was, it just wasn't working out. Yeah, I'm quite sure that's what it is, Vanessa. You're already good at what you're good at. That's what you're gifted at. That's what you're gifted at. That thing that you do naturally for free. I send out inspirational text messages. That's where you see this book. This book right here, let me show you. Let me turn around and show this to you guys. This is 367 days, guys. 367 days. I have enough messages. It's volume 1 because I'm putting together volume 2 and 3. And I still have more messages. There were years that I didn't even keep messages. I didn't start keeping them until I think 2 years in. So if you think about that, and then think about the fact that I didn't keep all of them. Some of them got destroyed. Some of them got lost. So this came easy to me. This stuff came out of me. I didn't even plan to do it. It happened. It was like by chance. So I thought. But God does nothing by chance. God is a divine orchestrator of whatever it is he needs to orchestrate. Right? So I did that. And it was baby steps. It was taking it step by step, by step by step, by step by step. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just sending out messages. There were days I didn't want to send them, and they wanted to come out. That's how I knew that was my gift. But the messages is what was in my heart, what I needed to share with people. But because my voice, and I still talked a lot, but I'll say that maybe my talking a lot was nonsense. I don't know. But now that I'm doing what I'm doing, there were a lot of people who knew me when, right? The days that I'm not so proud about. I'm proud about all of them because I made it through, but I did a lot of stuff I have no business doing, just to be straight up with y'all. And I've talked to you guys about a lot of those things. And I'm sure more will come. But I have a lot of people coming to me now saying, I always saw this in you. You always had this in you. And these are people who I was in the trenches with. And I'm like, this is your first time telling me this. We've been friends for 35 years. 25. Well, I'm not 35. For 30, almost 30 years. 25 years. And you're telling me you saw this in me all the time. But see, we weren't in a space, neither one of us were in a space where we could realize what it was, because so much was going on around us till we were caught up in it. We were like Peter. We weren't focusing on the purpose. We weren't focusing on our God. We were focusing on the circumstances around us, the water that was consuming us and drowning us. And I did go under for a while. I did. And I existed under for a while. And I mean, on the surface, it looked like I was having a ball. Inside, I was absolutely miserable. And that's why that's scary. Because that's how people are suicidal and they kill themselves and nobody knew it was coming. You got to be careful. You got to pay attention to the signs. So when you talk about taking the first step, sometimes taking the first step isn't a physical step. It isn't an actual manual step. Sometimes taking the first step is just making a decision in your mind. Sometimes taking the first step is reconnecting your relationship with God. Sometimes your first step is accepting what it is that's going on. Another first step might be forgiving yourself. Wherever you are in the process, you got to trust the process. You have to trust the process. Faith must be your map. When God is calling you to do things, and I want to hear from y'all. Tell me what you think about this. When God is calling you to do things, it will not make any sense most of the time. If it makes sense, it's probably not God. I'm not saying that it has to be difficult now. I'm saying that it just doesn't make sense all of the time. God will ask you to do things like what he asked me to do. Like he'll tell you to quit your job with no money saved up in the bank right before both of your kids' birthday and Christmas. Yeah, he'll tell you to do things like that. That's the type of things. Those are the types of things that God will do, because it's not about you getting the glory. It's about him getting the glory. And if you had to figure it all out, then why do you need God again? Trying to figure that out. Why do you need God again? Okay. So, never try to make yourself feel better by finding fault in others. Don't be misery's company. Many of us are jealous and envious and angry and frustrated because we're jealous and envious because we're angry and frustrated and we don't really know how to channel that. So we want to make misery our company. That's what we want to do. And we don't intentionally want to make misery our company. But what happens is we sit in what we don't have, what we don't want, what has already happened that we did not like, instead of keeping focused on, okay, that happened, but I got to keep it moving. I had a conversation today with a millionaire. And if you saw this person, you would not think that they're a millionaire. And it was such a random conversation, the way we bumped into each other by chance. But let me tell y'all something. I had prayed to God yesterday, and I said, I get online and I research all of these people. And Shirley, you and I talked about this if you're still on. I said, I want to really make my imprint in my city. I want to start getting out there and talking to people. And I've been calling people and I've been doing little things. And people have been telling me, I hear about you. I'm doing something. I might want you to come and speak. But not really, I want to talk to somebody that's already like, they can say, look, I've achieved my goals. Like, I'm still working towards them, but like financially I'm where I need to be, mentally or whatever, I'm where I need to be. And then I had this thought. I was like, I just want to talk to a businessman that's down to earth, or businesswoman, and I just want to ask them some real life questions. Like, I see people asking them online and stuff like that, but I just want to be in that atmosphere. So God brought somebody that I already knew. I was at Starbucks. I had to pass a Starbucks to get to the Starbucks that I was at. All kind of other things were going on. Everything in me wanted to get to that particular Starbucks. Like I said, I think I passed one. I might have even passed 2 Starbucks to get there. And it was out of the way. And it was like I went in a whole circle to get there. I'm telling y'all, it was like crazy. And then he had bought a copy of my book when it first came out. And he was like, how's the book going? I said, fine. And I didn't know when he bought the book that he was a millionaire. Like, I knew he was a businessman, but I didn't know that. And I was like, it's going good. And he was like, you know what? You just need to keep pushing forward. Just don't give up. Like, do not give up. He was like, let me tell you something. You're not going to have $1 million. He said, you're going to have millions of dollars. And I was looking around like, where is this coming from? It was coming directly from God. God was using him to talk to me. He said, yes, Shirley, I know you feeling this thing, girl. He was like, that's why today, Shirley, I was kind of not as visible because I had a lot of natural, real life connections going on today. And that felt really good. Not that the connections we make aren't real, but you know what I mean. It wasn't in the virtual world. And he said, you know why you're going to do good? He said, because you got God deep down inside of you. This person doesn't, like, I know him, but it's not like we sit around and eat dinner together and do all of those things. No, that's not going on. And I just sat there and tears got in my eyes, and I was looking at, and I just couldn't even look at him, and I just put my head down. I just kind of threw my hands up like this. I was just like, I receive it. Like, I receive it. And he just kept talking, and then he said, you got a lot of people around you who jealous of you. He said, especially family and close friends. He said, don't be surprised. He said, a lot of people not going to want to help you right now. Don't take it personal, because they see what's in you. And they don't like it because they're not winners and you are. They're equipped to be winners, but they've given into losing. And they're angry with you because you want to win and you're going to win. Y'all, let me tell you something. Everything this man said to me, within 24 hours before that, I had already talked to God about that. So when this thing says take the first step, I didn't know why I had to be at that Starbucks. But I had to be at that Starbucks because he was going to be there and we were going to have that conversation. I was in the middle of a call. When he walked outside, the call just cut off. I mean, just absolutely cut off. And it wouldn't go back through. Sometimes you have to lose everything and everybody to gain it all. Hashtag confirmation. Yes, ma'am. My Shirley Hubbard. Y'all need to follow her. Look at God. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Shirley, I'm telling you. So you know what he said? He said, and let me tell y'all what he said. Now, I got to backtrack. I told y'all I was at a meeting this morning, right? Sure, Herbert, that's true. And sometimes we wonder why. Exactly. And that's the problem. We're trying to figure out the why. We need to, okay, there is a means to an end, right? And what God wants us to do is keep our eyes focused on the end. See, that's what Jesus was for Peter. When Peter had finished his walking, he was going to be at Jesus, right? Jesus was the end, but Peter was focusing on the means. The means was the water itself. Jesus had already fixed out the water. All he needed to do was walk in it, take the first step. But when he started stepping, he started focusing on, how am I going to do this? Why is this happening? What needs to happen? Okay, let me tell you what we got to do. We got to keep moving forward. So at the meeting, we were talking about, yes, the greatness is on the other side. Yes, it's right up ahead of us, right? But we get distracted, right? Shirley, we looking down. We looking down. We looking up instead of looking straight. Instead of looking straight and keeping it straight, right? So at the meeting, we were talking about, you may be doing 10 things right now. You may be doing 5 things right now. But what is that thing that you love and is working for you? What is the thing that you love to do and is working for you? I want you to think about that. I don't care how minute you may think it is. I don't care how small you may think it is. What is the thing that you love and how is that working for you? That's what you need to focus on. So we were talking about that today, and I was like, you know what? I have like really shifted my focus. I've been doing a lot of other things, and I've been praying to God, asking him, is this what he wants from me? And God told me that I want you to write. I want you to focus on your book. What in the world? What kind of animal is this? Y'all, look at this. I don't know. Did y'all see that little ugly, nasty looking thing? I'm about to be scared. Oh gosh, it looks too much like it could be a family of a snake or something. I don't know. That's why I have cats. I'm too afraid of these bugs, girl. You know, you can't know what kind of day I had. This scope is further confirmation. We got to talk about that, girl. We got to talk. We're going to talk tomorrow. We're going to talk tomorrow morning. I have to take my mom to the doctor, so hopefully we can chat sometime in the morning, but because this scope is confirmation, so I'm sorry I got distracted. I'm laughing because we had the same kind of day. Oh, wow! That's why you my girl, Shirley. Listen, y'all, this thing is moving. Oh, gosh. What is this? What is this? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm distracted. I'm acting like Peter. I'm about to start singing. I don't know what this is. This is some kind of bug. Rocco, you need to come and eat this thing. Anyway, sorry. Don't pay me any attention. Y'all know I love y'all. I'm just being myself. So, we were talking about, they were telling me, like, you may be, you may be doing some things, but it's overwhelming you, right? But what are you good at that does not overwhelm you and is working for you, right? And when I thought about that, I said, well, if I do more of that in my life and less of what is overwhelming me, that would really work out for me, because what happens is I will allow God room to work in my life when I'm overwhelmed and when I'm frustrated and things like that. It takes up space. It's like I keep, the example I keep using, y'all, this thing is still moving. Okay, I'm not going to look at it. I'm getting distracted again. Y'all got to help me stay on track, okay? Just when you see me looking down, do something. Tap the screen, put a comment up. I don't know. I'm distracted. Anyways. Well, I was thinking about that, right? I was thinking about that, and now don't laugh at me, y'all. I know y'all think I'm crazy, but I don't do bugs and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not afraid of bugs. I don't do reptiles. That's what I just don't do those things, and I don't know what this is sitting on my porch. Even though I'm about 100 times bigger than it, I just don't like how it looks. But and my cats seem not to mind, because they're just letting it sit there. But anyways, hey, Aaron. So, okay, so yeah. So when I realized that a lot of times we get caught up in the things that we feel like we have to do, right? Instead of doing the things that we love to do. And then those things will allow more space. Those things will allow us more room to be great. When we do the things that we love to do, they allow us room to be great. I told y'all before, there was a TED Talk that I saw when this guy, he had a beard like 2 or 3 feet long. I mean, his name was Magnus, something like that. And he did a TED Talk, and he was talking about follow your gut. And if you have access to YouTube or something like that, look that video up. It's like 19 minutes and some change. I know, because I have watched it over and over and over again. I don't know how many views, but I have a lot to do with those views. And I have sent that to people and all of that. I need to, I'm going to go look it up, because I think what I'll do is put it up in my Facebook group, because he was just talking about how he talked about how he ended up in the United States, and he was just talking about how one step led to another, and everything was him following his gut, following his spirit, allowing God to lead him, not second guessing it. I don't know about you, but I second guess myself too much. Like, I have a great idea, but it's like nothing I've ever seen done before, and then it's like, oh gosh, that's crazy. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know. And then I'll talk myself out of it. No. If that was the case, we wouldn't have any new inventions. We wouldn't have anything innovative taking place, because we would just keep doing the same old, same old. And that's how many people want to live their lives. That's how many people want to interact and cooperate and things like that. That's how they want to do it. But that's not what we have been called to do. That is not what we have been called to do. We have been called to be unique. We have been called to be peculiar. When the Bible talks about being peculiar, it translates into being chosen. So when you're peculiar, you are operating in your chosen thing. This man was making clothes. He was homeless. And he sold some pants that he had inside out or something like that. And then he ran into this guy that was in a band or something like that. And he loved the pants. Or somebody that was making stuff for videos or something. So he asked him how much would he charge him for the pants. He got the pants from like a thrift store or something. Thus God will watch. We'll watch replay. Gonna drive. Okay, cool. Thank you, dear. Yeah, watch the replay. And tell your husband and the kids that say hello. And so I'm saying that to say this. Take the first step, right? Take the first step. Stop trying to figure everything out. Stop trying to fit into the group with the cool girls. You remember in high school, there was like that clique that, you know, the girl that was dating the jock in school or whatever the case may be. I don't know about your high school, but I think just about every high school had it. And it's like, you know, I remember being in school like, I don't want to be a part of your clique. And then I talked to people after high school and they were like, you were one of those girls. No, I wasn't, but you weren't mean or stuck up. No, because I was too busy trying to rebel against them. I guess I started my own clique trying to rebel against that clique. And when we get to be adults, because so much about life we really don't know, and everybody isn't like this. Some people just have those daring spirits. They just go and do whatever. But many of us have this, you know, nurturing, especially us women. Like we have this feel like, you know, I don't want to make this decision or make that decision. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want them to feel awkward. Really, I don't want to feel awkward. You know, I don't want to be disappointed. I just read The Purple Cow. He said, fail, 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 and fail again. Fail until you get it right. We have to give ourselves permission to fail. That's what taking that first step is all about. So yeah, you could fail, but you could also blow up and you can be the bomb.com. So you're going to stop all of those opportunities because you're afraid to fail. Well, you have a 50-50 chance. I like those odds. I'll take it. And I want you to think about that as you go through your life. I want you to think about that as you never try to make yourself feel better by finding fault in others. Don't let misery be your company. I want you to think about that as you go through your life because you don't need to invite misery in as your company. Don't sit down and if you're struggling with a breakup and stuff like that, don't sit around and watch everybody else and get upset or get down about it. I would say watch happy couples and get excited about the fact that, oh, that breakup, that means that you're one step closer to your dream husband or your dream wife. You know, that downfall, you may have had a financial downfall. That's just one step closer to your $1 million breakthrough. You know, you may have gotten a negative health report. That's just one step closer to your supernatural healing. How do you want to look at it? Do you want to invite misery in to eat dinner with you at night and go to bed with you at night, take a shower with you? Are you inviting misery to work with you in the morning? Has misery become your best friend? And are you miserable on the inside, but you smile on the outside and everybody thinks that you're the happy, go-lucky person, but you know deep down inside you're dying inside? I'm not talking about none of y'all. I'm telling y'all my life for a long time. That was my life for a long time. And what I realized was I couldn't really heal because so many people around me were telling me I need to get over it. Give it to God. Pray, girl, I pray about that thing. I just leave it to God. Let me tell you something. It is so much more to it than that. And we need to be real. Like I do Shine Time. We have Shine Time on Thursday. When we do Shine Time, these children are dealing with stuff. And I know because I dealt with stuff. Like I told, there was no like money to go school shopping and go Christmas shopping and stuff like that. And after I got out of 6th grade, I wasn't expecting those things. I had to work for every last thing I got. Everything. 7th grade on out. I've been working for everything that I got. And I got good grades in school. And I didn't get in trouble. I didn't do any of those things. But that was the life that I had. I resented my mom and her husband for that for a long time. But now I see that God was preparing me for where I was going. He needed me to have that drive. He needed me to have that push, that stamina to know that I can take care of myself. And even in that, I did it with a chip on my shoulder. So that same independence that got me through at this stage in my life was about to be my demise. Think about that. What it took to get you there is not going to be what it takes to get you to the next level. And you have to be willing to change. That's what Vanessa was talking about. We have to be willing to change, and we have to be willing to grow. We have to. We have to be willing to understand that you can get there by a plane, train, and an automobile. And just because your mama traveled on the train, and your grandmama traveled on the train, and your daddy traveled on the train, does not mean it's not time for you to get in the plane and fly. Let's expedite this thing. Does not mean that you might need to get on a bicycle. I want to make sure that you guys are getting this now, because I know this is not just for me. Like, this is for all of us. This is for all of us. And that conversation that I had today, he said, you need to speak to people, because people need to hear what you got to say. People are struggling, and they need to hear from you. And he said, you know what? They're hearing from a lot of people, but they're not being real with them. They're telling them what they want to hear. They're playing around with them, and it's not sustaining. It's not something that can last. It's not something that they can use to keep it moving. And that's why we cannot hide behind masks. We have to be willing to pull the mask off, and we have to be willing to embrace what we see behind those masks. And that's for all of us. And I know when I was talking about women, you know, men struggle with this stuff too. Hey, Trezelle, sweetheart, how you doing? Men struggle with these things as well. And see, my thing with men is men have a lot of pride, so they really, really, really can't tell you when they're feeling down or really feeling depressed. I mean, a man has to be really secure within himself to be able to admit how he feels, because in our society, that's considered weak. That is not something that men do. Hey, beautiful, how you doing? So, I teach my son. I'm doing great, thank you. Okay, let me tell y'all why this scope has no title, no nothing. Because I was getting ready to get on, and then my mom walked in the house. So I put the phone down. When I picked the phone back up, I was talking to her. And that's awesome. I was talking to her, and I looked down, and I saw that I was already scoping. So I was like, well, I'm on. Might as well keep it moving, because I had already had someone come in. So it is what it is. So I don't know what I'm saying at the beginning of the scope. We'll all find out together when we listen to the replay. But, what was I saying? I got a little distracted. Oh, I was telling my son, I said, as a man, you have to understand that there's strength in you being yourself. I said, God gave you tear ducts so that tears could fall out of your eyes. That means that you can use them. I said that does not mean that you're weak. What is a sign of your weakness is when you're so concerned about what everybody else has to say that you can't heal. Now that's weakness. That is not strength. Okay? That's false pride, false humility, whatever you want to call it. But that is not strength. So when he gets upset and he gets angry, you know, like I talk to him and I'm like, look, you got to express this. Like, you have to find another way to express this. Like, you can't hold this in. Like, you can't keep this bottled up. Sometimes I'll send him outside and tell him, go run and go do something. Go kick a box in the backyard. He'll tear the box up and he'll feel better. I don't know. We'll pray. He'll take deep breaths. He'll get mad at me, but I'll make him take deep breaths. And after he takes the deep breaths, you know, then he feels a little better. But it's all about taking the step, guys. I'm teaching him how to take a step on his own. When the waters are uncertain, I'm teaching him how to do that, because as his mother, that's what I need to do. I'm perfectly imperfect. So some of the things that he's going to get from me, it might drive his wife crazy and his children crazy. And then they'll meet me and say, oh my gosh, he got that from his mother. Hey, that's why Jesus died on the cross. Because I don't always get it right. I'm not going to ever always get it right. When I do, it's going to be time for me to leave here, because I'm perfect now. And that does not happen in the realm that we exist in. So why am I saying that? I'm saying that because you have to. You absolutely have to be willing to move forward. When misery tries to knock at your front door, you can't open it. You might peek out the window and see who it is, and you're like, look, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this today. You're not welcome in my home. I'm not inviting you in here. We're not going to do this today. This is the mindset that we have to have. We have to move forward. We have to be willing to let the potter move in our lives. Like we really do. Like we have to be willing to... The potter, when I was telling y'all about those verses, and I really encourage you to read this on your own. The potter said that the clay, Jeremiah said the clay was marred in the potter's hand. So the potter made it again into what he considered good. Now let's think of God being your potter. And right now you may have experienced some things in your life and did some things in your life that really seem like you have been marred. Like you just messed up. Like you just like, there's no coming back from this. There is no way I can make it through this. This is just so bad. But Jeremiah just told us what God is telling us. Even though you might be that broken, even though it might seem that bad, guess what? You're in the potter's hands, and he can make you again to what he considers good. But the only thing is, are you willing? Are you willing to submit under the mighty hand of God? Are you willing to let God do what it is that he wants to do in your life? Are you willing to live your life on purpose? And if so, that means that you're willing to allow him to mold you, manipulate you, maneuver you, press you down, pack you up, loosen you up again. See, those are the types of things you may have been experiencing in your life and you don't know why. You know why? Because you're on the potter's wheel. He's preparing you for what he considers good. Are you willing to allow that to happen? Are you willing to allow those things to take place in your life? I want you to think about that. So I'm going to go and get ready for bed because I'm tired. I had a long day. I'm really excited. I had to get on and talk with y'all. Thank you so much for the hearts. Don't forget to share this with your followers. Anybody listening in on a replay, please share this with your followers. Post it on your social media. Tell everybody they need to find this Adelaide B girl so they can watch us on Periscope. Remember, if you want to chat with me, if there is something that you need to overcome, you feel like there's some glass ceilings in your life and you just can't break them, like you can see through them, but you just can't really get through them, click the link in the bio. Swipe up or swipe left or right. Click the link in the bio. Do the quick questionnaire so that we can get on the phone. Thank you so much for the love, Jamal, SC Jamal. And I just want to encourage you, no matter where you are and what you're going through in life, you are always in the hands of the potter. You're always in the hands of the potter. If you don't get nothing else from me, remember you are never alone. You were looking around. He was there the whole time. I love you guys. Y'all have a great evening and y'all be blessed.